Station back there. I can hear you. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am Karen O'Neill, and today I am broadcasting from Colorado, missing my home in Mexico, but very happy to be here, healing from a fall. Don't run around on cobblestone roads. I can tell you right now, it is not healthy for the body. Anyway, I am so happy to be back. I've been out of commission for a couple of months, and it's good to see all your beautiful faces. What we do on this is we call this, first of all, we call it the Monday Morning Miracle Chat. And the reason we call it that is because what happens with our patches just seems like a miracle. It seems like this couldn't happen. Oh my gosh, things that have been going on for a long, long time, suddenly they're gone. We're feeling good. Feels like a miracle. But I like to remind everybody that it's science and we are backed by really good, amazing science. So I want to give a warm welcome to everyone here is new. Please, if you have a story, feel free to step up and tell us. We want to hear it. And if you're a regular, I'm counting on you to tell your stories. There's a little place down in the bottom where it says no, what is it? It says reactions. Click that, and there will be a place to raise your hand. I will try to write your names down in the order that you raise them, like I already said. See Dushenka's, and I'll try to put them in the right order, but no promises. Okay, and we have Michelle G from, excuse me, from Colorado Springs. I'm going to mute for just a second and wait for hands to go up. There, I did what I needed to. So we've got a couple of hands up. And what we do is we share our stories. We share what's going on with us because sometimes we have experiences that we don't expect, like really unexpected. I'm actually going to start out with a really, just to give you an idea, I want you to stay between 30 seconds and a minute to tell your story, how things were, what you did, and how they were after. One of my brand partners had somebody who dealt with a lot of sadness, and I found out later she didn't even really want to be in this world. And we tried, some patches on her, and this is not X39, which normally we stay in the first 15 minutes, but I'm the host and I'm changing the rules just for this one thing. And anyway, so I told her, I said, just try putting on an Eon on the back of her neck. Oh my gosh, right away, her anxiety went away, her feelings of sadness went away, and she felt so good. And it was so amazing that her chiropractor insisted on having a meeting with me because he'd never seen a change like that in somebody. So that's the kind of thing. Just keep it short to the main points. Don't tell the whole story and all the details. Wait till we get to our big meeting, and then we can share those kinds of things privately with each other because we want to make it succinct. How I was, what I used, how I am now. And Dushenka, you're on.
So I want to tell you about some people in my group. We had a call last night, and one person was sharing that she had this pain in her thumb, and she hasn't been on our calls for like a year. I don't know what the heck happened to her. Called her, she didn't return, who knows. And she got on the call last night. She said, I had to get on because I haven't used the patches since last July. I haven't thought about them. And then my thumb was hurting so much, I couldn't even move it. She said, and I said, wait a minute, I have X39. She put it right there at the joint, between the thumb and the forefinger. And she said, and pretty soon there was less pain. She said, and now it's been 12 hours, and look, I can pinch this patch, and there's no pain at all, and it's so great. And then someone else on the call said, well, I haven't had any great results with the patch. It's not like I had some pain and it's gone away. And I've seen that. I said, Nancy, you couldn't breathe. You had really bad asthma. And you called me and told me, hey, wearing X39 for 3 days, I can breathe with no problem. She said, oh, yeah, that's true. That did happen. So I just want to encourage everybody. Share your story, remember other people's story, and remind them when they forget.
Yes, Dushenka, and thank you for bringing that up because that's why we have the tracker, and that's why we really, really want to write down how we were. Sometimes I have to go back into my first testimony that was probably 5.5 years ago to remember some of the things that were wrong when I started because we do forget. The pain's gone. We're not thinking about it. Thank you. Okay, Michelle, come on in. Michelle, you're still muted.
Okay. About a month ago, one of my friends came over and she said that just a day before, her husband had practically cut his finger off on a wood planer. And they went to the emergency room, and the doctor said, we're going to have to amputate at least to the first knuckle. It just took out all the meat, all the flesh. And he said, well, we're not going to amputate. The husband did. And the doctor said, well, then the only thing we can do is just kind of wrap this, whatever skin's left, they just kind of wrapped it around the bone, put a bandage on it. And the doctor says, okay, so when you come back in 2 weeks with gangrene, we'll amputate it then. So he went ahead and went home. I talked to my friend the next day, sent her home with some X39. They started using them right away. She came back last week, which has been just about a month from the original incident. His finger is filling in, the flesh is filling in, the indentations are getting less. There's still some jagged edges on it, but he was back at the doctor again a couple times. The doctor now says no need to amputate, no gangrene. The nail bed is looking healthy, and it looks like the fingernail might even grow back, which I know it will because my brother-in-law's toenails grew back after 10 years, but that's a different story.
Wow.
Anyway, as a very pleasant, we say patches don't have side effects, but I say they do. As a very pleasant side effect of these patches of just X39, he now no longer has ringing in his ears that he's had for years.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's really powerful, Michelle. All of our stories are powerful, but that one, I just wonder what that doctor was thinking.
Me too.
He was so like, come back when you have gangrene.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
My
Oh,
pleasure.
and I appreciate it so much. Sunshower, come on in.
Hey, I can do a follow-up to that one, Michelle. And I actually posted pictures on behalf of one of my brand partners who had a very similar situation. So if you can go to our Facebook page, the Live Younger Facebook page, and just scroll through, you'll find the same. The same sort of thing happened to a gentleman, 80 years old, climbing up in a tree. And he's sawing off limbs to this tree, and that chainsaw got 2 of his fingers. And this story is so similar, my dear. Yeah.
That's awesome. We always have these piggyback stories, don't we? They're great. Hey, I don't see any more hands up, so come on in. Bless the community with your story. And Darlene, I'm going to ask you to tell Larry's story. Okay, we have Jerry. Come on in, Jerry.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Since I haven't told this one for a while, and probably some new people, I'll talk about my fall prior to convention 2 years ago when I fractured 2 places in my pelvis and was in severe pain lying at the end of my driveway. It's a little early, but I'm going to work in another one. But the medics finally got there. It's 95 degrees. Neighbors had put umbrellas over me. It was bad. And they were going to put a claw and lift me up, and they touched me with it, and I screamed. And my neighbor ran in, got my little medicine pack of patches, and I'm flipping through them. And I put 3 sets of, I'm sorry, it's a little early, ice waves down on top of my pants on the side and everything where it was just aching, and it was pinching. And then I said, okay, I'm ready. They picked me up in the claw, put me on a gurney, and I never used a pain drug the whole time.
Wow.
And I'm not saying when I moved to get an x-ray, it didn't hurt. That's what I'm saying, but I don't do drugs. But my orthopedic guy, when I went for 3 weeks checkup, I says, well, aren't you going to take an x-ray? He says, no, it's too soon. Well, obviously I had 39 and 49 on the whole time in rehab and hospital. And he got it back while we're sitting there. Both fractures had bone growing. And on my 6th week, both fractures were engulfed in new bone growth all the way around both fractures. And he couldn't believe what he was seeing. And needless to say, I made it to the convention on a walker, but it wasn't even a month after my fall. So there you go.
That is amazing. Thank you. It's a miracle call, even though it's science. Donna, come on in.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say that my mom, who is 95 years old, she told me a couple months ago. She said, "I'd like to try them for a month," and I told her what I'm told in the foundational training. No, don't do it just for a month, because you're 95 years old and you didn't get like this overnight, so you're not going to get like this you're not going to get unlike this overnight. So okay. Well, then like 2 months later, she came back and she goes, I really think I want to try. She had a TIA and it scared her enough. And I said, I think maybe you might want to think about getting on the patches. So she got on the patches. She's been on them for almost 2 months now. And I took her out for her 95th birthday last week. And then I went over her health tracker and she said she was having sciatica pain. That's gone, she said. And she hasn't had a migraine since she's been on them. And she says, I'm sold. I think I'm going to stay on the patches. So anyway,
That's awesome. Donna, that is awesome. And hey, you guys, I really messed up. I was supposed to say, remember, don't say any name diseases, please. And no name diseases. That's all. And we don't say that we cure or treat or diagnose any name diseases. So I apologize for not reminding you all about that.
I do wrong saying sciatica pain? Is that a diagnosis?
I think so. Don't worry. You know what? Life happens. Okay, thank you. That was powerful. Oh my gosh. And in her 90s. People also often don't get better in their 90s unless they have the patches. So awesome. Hey, Sunny, come on in.
Well, very good morning to everybody. I hope everyone's doing well today. And yeah, I thought I would come on. I'm kind of celebrating my 1 year with LifeWave, and I had originally committed to 4 months of X39. And I guess I can say my diagnosis are my symptoms. So I experience and have experienced my whole life dystrophy in my muscles. And if you don't know what that is, it's degeneration of the nerves and the breaking down of the myelin sheath. And once that goes, the muscle goes. So I have wasting in my legs and my hands and my arms. I use a wheelchair. I use it full time now. And I also have been getting up standing in a standing machine since starting LifeWave a year ago. So I just want to say I've been enjoying a level of energy I thought was gone and was out of reach for me. And I've got it back. And I'm continuing to compound the results I'm having. And it's just getting better and better. So I just really encourage you, whatever you got going on, just stick with it. The commitment piece is huge. So thank you.
Oh, Sunny, that is amazing. That's a life changer. You can't even compare, can you, how your life was before? That is very powerful. Thank you for sharing. And I wish you continued wonderful, brilliant success.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Diane, come on in.
Couldn't find where I had to unmute.
Sometimes it takes a minute.
Yes. I had a shoulder injury in both of my shoulders for 9 years. It kind of healed up, but when I raised my arms above my head, I had to go kind of slowly because it was still sort of tender even after 9 years. And I wore an X39 for 12 hours and got up the next morning and was putting bowls away up on my second shelf and realized, oh my gosh, my shoulders don't hurt anymore. And so that shoulder injury was no more, and it's never come back, and it's been a year.
Wow, congratulations. Shoulders are tough, I know, because I
Yes.
broke mine and dislocated it a couple months ago, which is why you haven't seen me for a while. Anyway, and it's healing, I'm sure, faster than it would without patches. So awesome. Thank you. And I don't see any more hands up. Darlene knows I'm going to call on her.
Liz has her hand up. Karen, Liz.
Oh, you do? Oh, I couldn't see it with the umbrella. Liz, come on in.
My
And then
hand's
Darlene.
up. Hi.
It is. I see it.
Well, I have a similar story to what Sunny just said. Back in 2020, for the first time ever, I say what I hit the medical wall. Never had been sick before, never, other than common cold, that type of thing, but never had been hospitalized, etc. And late November, well, August is when I started having the issues, but late November, I started losing the ability to walk. And I lost the ability to walk for 10 months. In 2021, they diagnosed me with something similar to like what Sunny was saying. And in March, I started wearing the X39 patch and didn't really see a whole lot of changes. But by August, I was finally able to start walking again. And I can walk again now. My back still cramps up. And so I use one of the other patches on my back, which I can mention it if you want, Karen, or we can wait until later and you can figure it out.
Oh, go ahead.
It's the Ice Wave patches. They help with my back cramping, but the X39 is what I attribute the ability to start walking again with. So took months, but it was there. So Sunny, keep working on it because they work.
That's awesome. And you know what? I remember how you were and how devastating that was. And I'm so excited for you. You're such a good friend. And I, just broke my heart. So I'm so glad you're so much better. That,
Well,
we change people's lives here, don't we? And people we love. So, all right. All right. Let's go to Lavelle.
Morning. So my wife and I have been with Lifeway for 5 years now. We're very, very excited, and very good friend of ours who he was in another company with us years ago. He's like, well, I'm not doing any more network marketing. And we said, okay, Chuck, look, we're just gonna leave some patches and let's try it, man. It works. And Chuck works like all the time. So he came home one night. He owns his own beauty salon and barbershop. And I'm saying he works all the time. So he came home one night and he said he felt like he was going to have a stroke. And he said, he said he laid down. He had just ran his water, and he looks up on his drawer chest, and he says, "Let me see if this stuff works." So he gets over to the patches to the X39, and he puts the patches on, and the life came back into his body. And now Chuck is one of our directors in our companies. This product is just phenomenal. I just thought about that. It may have saved his life. And he put that patch on the X39. And here it is 5 years later. And he's just doing just great. And he said, Lavelle, I'll be wearing these patches for the rest of my life.
Awesome. That's how I feel. People say, how long do you need to wear them? And I say, it's up to you, but I would never quit wearing them the whole rest of my life. That's awesome. What a powerful story. Thank you. All right, let's go with Jerry. And Liz, is your hand still up again for another story? Okay, so Jerry, come on in.
Hey, Karen, I figured no hands. I better speak up today. So
You're
anyway.
always good for that. Thank you.
I have been 3 years ago when my friend Janet called me, she knew that my health had been spiraling probably for maybe 5-6 years. And I didn't know what was going to happen. And what I want to speak to first is about consistency and persistence. And, please don't stop. And, it doesn't happen every night. I guess we were on calls for about 5 months till my pain had subsided. So that took a while. But I have so many issues and they are slowly going away. It's going on to 4 years now. But I want to speak to those. I know Donna spoke about her 95-year-old mom. My dad's 97. It's been on him a little over 2 years. And I know David in the beginning was wondering, what are the elderly? How is it going to affect those that are, 80s and even older? Well, he has had a wealth of things, of pluses in his life, starting from his cardiologist said that his heart is better than when they put the pacemaker in 8 years ago. He had kidney problems and thought he would be on dialysis. It is kept at status quo. I do believe those are the patches because they did not think that was going to happen. He had an ugly scar from throat down below the belly button from open heart surgery a long time ago. And you can barely see the keloids and the ugly scars. His face had scars from welding. they are gone. The tingling in his ears is gone. And I can go on and on and on, but I don't want to spend too much more time. But I just want to say, don't stop and be consistent every day, regular. And that's how we're going to heal our bodies with the patches.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
I need to interject something in here. Somehow I got pinned on the speakers page. I didn't
Karen,
do it on
that's what we
purpose.
normally do on the
Oh, is that
morning
new?
chats.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
No, it's not
new.
new, but it's what we've been
Really?
doing for a very long
Oh,
time. I'll unpin
okay.
you so that it won't show in the replay, but that's what we normally do. So
I didn't. Okay, I never noticed that. I always go to the second page and watch everybody. So, okay, yeah, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't think I want to be on there the whole time. Anyway, oh, you guys, your stories are absolutely perfect. CJ and then Darlene.
Hi, good morning. I am a massage therapist and I've been using our technology 2 years now in August in my practice in Richardson. But I recently did a mental health conference and there were many psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, and some doctors in this room. So several people that I was able to help. So one gentleman came in and he attended the conference when said you shouldn't. He's supposed to have a knee surgery. They put him off on the knee surgery because of insurance. Fast forward, he was sent over to me like talk to CJ. So I patched him and I said, sir, what is it? What knee? And I did ice wave, tan on left, white on right on that major knee problem. And I did 39 up above, like the little triangle method. And he was like, okay. And I said, we say just stick it and wait for the magic. So I went away from him. There was another speaker, came back to him in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And he was like, I have no pain. I really can't believe this. And so we suggested to him when there was a break, go ahead and see if you can walk down the hallway and how you are right now. He walked down the hallway. He came back. His eyes were bug-eyed wide open. And he's, what is this? And he's like, I can't believe I'm walking and I'm not in pain. And so I went in to explain more about the technology and how it can work. Then another lady at the conference, both knees had problems. And so she spoke to me and I said, let's just try the 39 in the back of your neck. Let's do this. And then there was another speaker. And then I saw her leave the room and she was limping. So I caught her before she came back into the conference room, outside of the conference room. And I said, hey, let's do this and let's try helping one of your knees. So let's see what we can do. So I said, let's take the 39 off the back of your neck. Let's put it above the kneecap. And I have a patch called Ice Wave. Let's put tan on left, white on right, 39 above. And let's see if that can help you. She's like, okay, yeah, I'm game. So I let her be. I went back into the conference room. 2 minutes, she came walking back in and walked past me and she goes, oh my gosh, it's already working. And I go, yeah. And then one more story. Have a doctor that was at the conference and he came in the second day and I talked to him for a minute. He goes, I have a migraine and I already took it and it's working. I said, okay, doc, let's see. This can help with, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that word, but these major headaches that you get that can put you in a dark room. And I said, let's try the X39 on the back of your head. Where's the most pain? Back here. Let's put that 39 back there. So he went on, there was another speaker, got to see him and he goes, headache's gone. I go, yes. And then he goes, hey, can you help me with this? I have this little problem down here at the base of my spine and it affects my left leg and can you see my left foot? So we actually ended up stacking Eon and glutathione at the base of his spine and letting him go. And let's just see if this can help you. And then he went back and sat down. Another speaker talked to him after that. And he's like, I'm like 75% out of pain with that, CJ. And I said, we can add some other patches. No. Let's just roll with that. I'm good. So he said right there, you sold me, CJ. And I go, sorry, sir, the technology works. So he's like, I need to do my research and I need to learn more. And I go, absolutely. And I've got more information for you. So those were just 3 of several stories that happened. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing. Those are great stories. Isn't it wonderful when you can get people, help them be out of pain? Pain is so debilitating and it so affects your life. So when you can help somebody that you care about, or even somebody that you barely met, it is just joyful. Thank you. All right, now we're going to go to Darlene.
Okay, I know the story that Karen's wanting me to share is about my husband's eye condition. 14 years ago, he was diagnosed with an eye problem where fluid builds up in the back of your eye, and they give you shots in your eye to dry up that liquid. So for 9 years, about every 8 weeks, he got a shot in his eye. We started wearing the patches, and 3 months later, when he went in for his appointment, the eye doctor said, "You don't need a shot." Didn't think too much about it because twice in those 9 years that had happened. But when we went back for the next appointment and he still didn't need a shot, I said, it has got to be the patches. That is the only thing we're doing different. And this November, it will be 5 years since he's had a shot in his eye. And it's not even fun to watch someone get a shot in their eyes. So he's very, very happy that he's not having to do those shots anymore.
Oh, thank you, Darlene. And that is, as you know, one of my very favorite scientific miracle stories. I just love that story. Can you imagine? And it was expensive. How much did they charge you for those shots?
$2,000 a shot. And we ran into someone recently and they said, oh, the shots are now $4,000 a shot.
Can you imagine $4,000 every 2 months to get a shot in your eye? And with the patches, he doesn't need them for 5 years. Yay. And Darlene's just one of my most magnificent, wonderful brand partners. And she's helping so many people in Colorado Springs and all around the place. So thank you, Darlene. I appreciate you sharing.
I have one other I want to share with you. Yesterday, I strained my left wrist and I am left-handed, carrying something to the car. This morning, I put Eon right here and I have X39 right here. And already I don't feel the pain when I move my wrist around.
Awesome. Yay. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Jonathan, I always love your stories too. Come on in.
Good morning. Good morning. So let me try and be in the rules here. So a little over 5 years, not quite 5 years yet. Mr. Passion told me to call Lavelle. We found the Fountain of Youth. I called Lavelle. Lavelle said yes. I joined and I did not use it right away. All right. I had problems with my blood pressure. They said I can say that. All right. So one day my blood pressure was very high and I had taken my medicine. I was exercising. I was drinking water, everything that I was supposed to do. And it was still high. And I remember the patches. I put them on. I wore them and I tested it out. I said, I'm going to test this because my background is in the medical field. I'm going to test this out. I set it up for a 6 weeks appointment with my cardiologist. It ended up to be 8 weeks because my wife had to work. 8 weeks of wearing the X39 only. 8 weeks. I went to my cardiologist. He ran tests on me. He did my blood pressure. He said, Mr. Beal, he said, your blood pressure is better than it's ever been since you come to see me. What are you doing differently? I had it on my C7. I told him what it was. He was so amazed. He took me off my medication. I've been off it. I had been on it almost 16 years. I have been off it. It will be 5 years in February. And not only that, let me quickly say this. I had a very emotional heart, if you know what I mean. Very excited sometimes and sometimes very not so excited. Well, a year and a half into this, just wearing the X39, it was gone. So I have been wearing this. I have energy. I have stamina. No more swelling in my ankles. My heart is just beautiful. My life is beautiful. Thank you, David Schmidt. Thank you, Mr. Passion. Thank you, Lavelle. Thank you, everyone, for enduring my story. Amen.
And I thank everybody too, because you're always such a pleasure to have on here, Jonathan. You're such a light. Thank you. Thank you. And oh, that's great. That's just, I almost went into tears on that one. Okay, Sunshower, come on back.
So I went in for my annual wellness checkup with my doctor. And actually, I hadn't met her before. They keep changing doctors on you, these days. So I go in and I got gutsy. Here's a key. Ask your doctor. So how are you feeling? And it turns out she was lacking energy. And I mentioned the patches and she seemed interested. I said, is it okay if I send you a 2-minute video? She says, yes. And then I talked to her and I asked, may we go to lunch? She goes, yes. I go, oh, okay. So
Wow.
guess what patches I brought with me? The energy
X39
enhancers,
energy.
right?
Oh, just those? Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because she said energy and I wanted a quick response. So
Mhm.
you should have seen me crawl under the booth at the restaurant that we were at, placing the energy enhancers under her shoes. Do I need to take my shoes off? No, you don't. Did I take the peel off? No, I didn't. Worked just fine. And she said, oh my goodness, within minutes, there's some kind of something going on in my legs all the way up to my knees. What I didn't know is she has that tingling sensation where you cannot feel your feet and stuff. Okay. So that day, guess what? She's now a brand partner.
Oh my gosh, Sunshower, you are amazing. And you just taught a lot of us business people how to do it. That is awesome. You go, girl. Thank you. Hey, Dushenka, come on in.
So I just wanted to share that in January, my tooth broke here. And, I went to a dentist. And after I called a whole bunch of different dentists, the 29th dentist I spoke to said, oh, yeah, we can see you. We need to do something. We're not going to make you do anesthesia because anesthesia doesn't work well with people in my family. And so then they saw it, they said, oh my gosh, you need oral surgery and you can't do oral surgery without anesthesia. I was like, well, I'm not going to die over a tooth. So I'm not doing oral surgery. And they're like, oh, but it'll go, I don't know. They said all these horrible things that would happen to my tooth if I didn't have the oral surgery. And I said, thank you for your opinion. Went on with my life. And then about a month and a half later, like I hadn't had any pain in my tooth, but I woke up and my whole cheek was swollen so much that I could barely open my eye. And so I decided to put a glutathione patch, maybe also an Eon, I don't remember, but for sure glutathione, right where it was the most painful here, just on the cheek outside my tooth. And like a day later, there was no swelling. Of course, I was still wearing X39 and X49. I mean, since I started wearing them, I'm never going to be without them. They just help so much. But I just, I don't have any infection. I didn't go septic from my tooth being infected. Sure, the tooth is still like half cracked in my mouth. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I haven't had oral surgery and it's been what, 10 months since January?
Oh my goodness. That is awesome. And I know the glutathione is so good because, when you have things all infected in there, I don't know if that's a legal word to say or not, but it does help. And the Eon, of course, is going to help with your the inflammation. So smart girl. That's a wonderful story. Thank you. And hey, Liz, what time is it?
It is 11:35 East Coast time.
Okay, then we need to wrap it up. Are we going to go back to you, Liz? Are you going to do the announcements?
Sure.
But I first want to say thank you to everybody who came on and shared. Thanks to all you new people who are on here listening. Get back with the person who invited you and you can discuss it a little bit. And yay, happy Monday. I love starting the week out this way. Thanks, everybody. On to Liz, and I'm going to see if I can mute myself.
Well, thanks, Karen. And that was great testimonials today. So I always take notes because you never know who you're going to run into or who you're going to be talking to that says, I've got this condition. And you can say, well, I've got something that just might help. And then you can share it with them. So that was a great job. So thanks, everyone, for your participation. And our team leaders, Gregory and Robin Mascari, are enjoying a vacation in Hawaii, actually in Kauai, at the Hanalei Bay. And some of you may remember Puff the Magic Dragon. Well, Hanalei Bay is right there. So they're enjoying that, taking pictures. I keep getting them from them. So they'll be joining us this evening. And we have a special guest speaker tonight, which is Garrett. And I can't remember what Garrett's last name is at the moment. But anyway, Garrett will be joining us tonight on the team update call at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. So he's going to be going over the new pack options that we have. So please join us then, and we'll be seeing you then. And tomorrow night, Tuesday night, we have our health practitioners call. And
this one here,
I'm going to open up the lines for everyone to say goodbye. And then
Hey Liz,
go ahead, Helen.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind people, like you said, man, these were amazing stories this morning. Thank you, everybody. And Live Younger YouTube.com. Share it, right, Liz?
Anyone? Right. So, okay. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you all later.
Garrett Johnson is his name. Garrett Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Lavelle. I remember his last name. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adios, amigos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Excellent.
Have a good day.